of how I went from this to this. It's time for me to dish out how I lost the weight that I did. And this all spanned within a year and a half because I made some huge decisions for my body, and my body went through a lot of fluctuative periods within that time. And I'm going to share all of them with you, including my PCOS journey, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, my birth control journey and everything like that, as well as learning about my body and cortisol levels and how to shift my energy. Buckle up, ladies, we got notes. So that's how we know it's serious. It's very serious. I was put on birth control when I was 17 years old because I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. If you don't know what that is, polycystic ovarian syndrome, it affects, I believe, 4 in 10 women, but it's where there's a bunch of cysts on the ovary. It causes a lot of hardship when it comes to weight control, mood control, hormone imbalances, how heavy your period or your PMSing symptoms are. It affects a lot of things, and sometimes in worst case scenario. And I was diagnosed when I was 17 and I was put on Marvelon 28, which is the pill, a couple years down the road. So I was on it for 7 years. I'm now 25, but a couple, I think maybe 3 years into me taking birth control, I learned that you could skip your period. You're on the pill. I learned that you can skip your period by not taking the sugar pills. I went for years, no periods, no PMSing symptoms. I lived the life. Not having a period is such a godsend. Once I went off of birth control and I remembered what having a period was like, it was the worst thing ever. I was like, I want to go back to the old days. And I did. I will share about that a little later. Other than me getting on the Marvelon 28, I also got diagnosed with ADHD when I turned 17. And why I'm telling you this is it's fair for me to tell you what medications I'm on because it's going to correlate to a lot of, I think, my weight fluctuations too. But if you have ADHD and you're taking ADHD meds, it's an appetite suppressant. When I first got on ADHD meds with the birth control, I was chubbier. This is what I looked like before I started ADHD and birth control. And this is after. You lose a lot of weight because it's an appetite suppressant. By the way, I should make a separate video on ADHD and how that journey changed my life. Honestly, best thing ever. I literally went from being a failing student to passing with honors within a year. Crazy work. At first, I thought it was the ADHD medications that made me lose the weight because it's the appetite suppressant. When I did get off birth control for a year in 2023, I believe summer of 2023, I decided to come off of birth control just to see if I would feel any different, because people are like, oh, I feel so much better, I feel amazing coming off of birth control. So am I like not living a good life right now? Does it get better than this? So I just tried it to see because I was on birth control for 7 years. That was my baseline. I don't remember what life was like before that and what it was like to feel any different. I was just like, I'll try it. I honestly had no issues being on the birth control. I was just like, you know what? Let's just see if I feel any different. Came off of it for a year and I regret it. I actually regret it because it didn't really help me with anything. If anything, my anxiety got worse, my weight got out of control, my PCOS started flaring up, gaining weight, hormone imbalances, skin was not working, nothing was working, energy was very low. I was tapping out very early every day, and I just did not have the energy or the motivation to do a lot of things after coming off of birth control. It's probably withdrawal, but I was going through it for a year and I was just like, you know what? No, I don't need this. Once I came off of birth control, I went through a lot of losing hair, which was terrifying for me. This is what my hair looked like. And this is what my hair started to look like. And I'm currently also on a hair growth journey, and I've been documenting that over the past since November. And I'm gonna make a separate video on my hair growth journey. Did not love that. So I stopped birth control 2023 summer into year, and then I believe the end of summer last year, September, October, is when I decided to get the IUD in. I don't have a period anymore. I'm living life again. I don't have the energy depletions anymore. I feel much more regulated. this is my baseline, this is my normal, and I think that's okay. I feel like my body just functions better with birth control, and I know not a lot of women can feel that way about birth control, and all of our bodies work differently. And this is not me telling you to go and get on birth control. Please don't do that. But this is what my body felt was right for me. I learned my weight fluctuation was not from my Concerta, it was from my birth control. Definitely the variable that I had to look at, because all along I had thought it was going to be my Concerta because it's a narcotic and it causes appetite suppression. A lot of people experience weight gain with birth control. I experienced the opposite, weirdly. And I don't know if it's because it's combined with the concoction of Concerta and ADHD that does that. On top of the medications that I am taking right now, I also learned about my deficiencies and what I needed to work on. I could stabilize myself with also working out and movements and having enough energy throughout the day to be productive and to be the best version of me. So I'm going to share my supplements and everything that I take for iron. Truth be told, you do lose a lot of vitamins and minerals when you are on birth control. It's important to take the right vitamins and supplements for that. And more so being iron. Iron deficiency is very common. More so if you're taking birth control, for some reason, anemia runs. This is the iron supplement that I have been taking. It's called Floridix, and it is a liquid iron supplement. It also has other vitamins in it. I think vitamin B's and other essential vitamins in it. I prefer this over capsule iron because capsulated iron makes me constipated. We don't like being constipated. I was trying to find a cuter word to say for that, but I'm just gonna say it as it is. I don't like being constipated. And it just gives you a bunch of gut issues and it's just annoying. But this doesn't do that. The only thing with this is when you take it, it's super pigmented. So when you do take it, make sure you rinse your mouth so your teeth don't get stained. In addition to taking this iron supplement, no matter what iron supplements you take, sometimes it just won't work unless you take beef liver organ supplements, meaning it's freeze-dried, so don't worry, it's not fresh organs, but beef liver organ in conjunction with liquid iron. So no matter how much iron that you take, it won't be able to move or circulate through your body without beef liver organ. And there's some sort of amino in this that allows the iron to be actually transferred and circulated through your body properly when you take beef liver organ in conjunction with your iron supplement. If you are taking iron supplements and you find it's not working for you, that might be a reason. Is because it literally sits dormant when you take it. There's a science behind it. I just heard it, I took the advice and it worked for me. That's all I know. So it might work for you too. Try it and let me know because I would love to hear your journey as well. For the hair loss and then also for my skin, I'm taking pumpkin seed oil capsules as well as omega-3, 6, and 9. I definitely have seen a huge difference in the texture of my hair and the growth of my hair as well. Definitely been helping. And then I'm also taking these liquid collagen supplements every single morning with my ADHD meds. Great for the skin, great for the hair. Collagen is also really good for hair growth. I would highly recommend including that in your routine. I really like liquid supplements for some reason. Actually goes into your system a bit better than or encapsulated vitamins. I also take this first thing in the morning is goji berries. I just take a handful and I eat it in the morning. This is more so skincare related. Hyperpigmentation is a huge thing for me, and I feel like this helps with hyperpigmentation and my skin quality. It's very high in vitamin A and iron, so this is just an extra boost to me taking my other iron supplements. This is an Asian beauty secret, but it also has so many other antioxidant benefits. But that is also not the only reason that I lost weight. I definitely did get off balance with my body and eating habits. Last year, I was not intuitively eating. I was not actually listening to my body, my mind, and my soul. My cortisol levels were through the roof with anxiety and not knowing how to transmute that and being able to control the variables that I could. After doing a lot of research and sitting with myself and understanding my body, I learned more about my cortisol level, what a lot of my triggers were. Because before I came off of birth control, I was very, I don't don't think, I thought I was in tune back then with my body when I was super skinny. This was 2020, early 2022. I think that was the skinniest I've been. But a lot of that was definitely, I was eating a caloric deficit. But I think that was also an issue for me because I was constantly in a caloric deficit, meaning that that caused a lot of stress on my body. So my cortisol levels were shot. Once I did come off of that and I was eating, the weight gain just came back tenfold. For me, what I learned that was best for my body is don't do a caloric deficit longer than 2 to 3 months. And then maybe do maintenance level for a month to 2 months and then just alternate it on and off with the intuitive eating. I hope you're still with me. I know this is a lot of information. We're going to glow up and figure out our bodies together. And once again, I'm sharing this from my experience of what I've learned through my body. Everybody is different, so you're going to have to experiment and try new things and learn how your body functions. You have to learn to become intuitive with your body, asking your body what it needs right now, because honestly your body will tell you here no longer. But a lot of women struggle to listen to their intuition for their body, and these are things that I had to learn. Even with me, I fearlessly experimented coming off of birth control when I had no reason or no business doing that. And I learned what works and what doesn't work for my body. Let's get back to the caloric deficits. Naturally for our bodies, if you're always in a caloric deficit, it's going to catch up with you. You need to have a maintenance level for your body, especially if you haven't always been a skinny girl. I feel like skinny girls, they can metabolize a bit better, but if you don't have the greatest metabolism, I know I don't have the greatest metabolism, but it's about figuring out what works for your body and not actually putting yourself in a caloric deficit for prolonged amounts of time. 2 to 3 months of caloric deficits with 2 to 3 months of maintenance weight, meaning with your intentional eating. And what I mean by intentional eating is only eat till you're 80% full. In America and Canada, we are in this terrible loop of thinking you need to have 3 full meals a day. You don't need to eat that much food. And I might get some backlash for that. You don't need 3 meals a day. We weren't created to eat 3 meals a day. We're created to eat intuitively and eat for our energy level. Another huge point is decentering food from our lives. In America, we put food on such a high pedestal, snacking and eating 3 full meals a day. That is not what our body needs. Let's talk about cave people. With cave people, they hunted for their food, make that food stretch out for weeks, if not months, and eat what they needed for the day. They would eat what they need and go. They could go days without eating as well and fast. And in this side of the world, eating is such a big thing. It's on the pedestal. It's creating obese people. I went to Europe recently. They don't have snacks like that everywhere. They do intentional eating and everyone is active. So it's very interesting to see their relationship with food on that side of the world and our relationship with food on this side of the world. Really important for us to start to heal our relationship with food to do intentional eating. We have to take food off the pedestal and we have to stop eating to be full. And in order to do that, you have to shrink your stomach by doing liquid fast. So maybe do a water or liquid fast for 1 or 2 days just to get your stomach a little bit more adjusted to that, because our stomach, it expands and it shrinks as to how much we feed it every single day. You have to wait till you're hungry to do intuitive eating. You don't eat when you're not hungry. Stop doing that just because you're eating 3 meals a day. In fact, don't eat 3 meals a day. Do 1 or 2 meals a day, top. And then only eat when you are hungry. And when you do eat when you're hungry, you eat until 80%. Take 1 to 3 bites, take a step back, see how you feel. Or another way that things could work is whatever meal that you eat, half of that. And that is what you're gonna eat. So eat half of each meal that you would typically eat to do intuitive eating to help maybe ease your way in. But for me, I would typically take 1 to 3 bites and literally savor each bite for my calorie deficits, and that's how I lost a lot of weight, on top of doing 1 hour walks a day. So 1 hour walks a day, yoga every other day, drinking a lot of water. Also, I got a stepper. So I step while I watch TV or I'm trying to be productive. At least 15 pounds to 20 pounds within 2 months because I took it very seriously. So I went through a breakup in March I believe. I decided to book a trip to Europe for May, and I'm like, I have less than 2 months to get myself together, and that's exactly what I did. This was me in March after the breakup, and this is me in May once I got to Europe. Also, when you're doing caloric deficits, you do need to cut out most carbs, sugars, lactose things. That's going to cause inflammation, and that's going to stop your body from actually draining and detoxifying itself to be where it needs to be. And that's also another thing. Connecting that back to PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome is a lifestyle. It's the way you eat, and you have to stick to a routine. Your body needs routine to truly not feel the burden of PCOS and all the terrible symptoms that it comes with. Things that actually agitate PCOS is having coffee, having bread, too much bread, dairy, sugar. All of those things inflame us, and it keeps us from reaching our goals. So being very strict when it comes to those things is very important on your journey to learning your body, what works for you, but also feeling and becoming your best self. Now let's talk about cortisol. Cortisol does have a huge impact on how you're going to lose weight. Your body needs routine. Whether you have PCOS, whether you're on birth control or other medications or not, is going to be huge in your weight loss journey and your health and fitness journey. You have to create a routine where you have strong boundaries with yourself when it comes to figuring out what things give you anxiety. For me, I have certain wind down times. 1 hour before I go to bed and 1 hour after I wake up, no phone. I cannot touch my phone, because the moment that you touch your phone and you start scrolling on social media, or you start doing work and stuff like that, your mind is racing. Is to stop those dopamine hits early in the morning. You want to let your mind and your body regulate to just calm, to just existing, to just being, to noticing things around you and just sitting with yourself. The moment you touch your phone, it is game over. I cannot stress this enough. Your whole day might as well be thrown out the freaking window, because you're gonna be on your phone scrolling for most of that day. When I give myself that 1 hour buffer after I wake up, I'm so much more locked into my goals. I'm so much more productive and engaged with what I'm supposed to do. And when I do go on my phone, I'm a lost cause. It just doesn't sit well with me. I get angsty when I scroll too much, and that's the feeling that I get when I start off my day with my phone or end my day. If you're someone who's an overthinker and you have ADHD and you're trying to go to sleep, I know for a fact your mind is racing, and it takes about maybe 1 to 2 hours for you to fall asleep. Don't go on your phone right before bed. You need to let your nervous system shut down, take in quiet time, just have that time for yourself to decompress and fall asleep, whether that's doing a nice long skincare routine or a nice long shower. With my ring. But see, that ring fit me when I got it in January in Hawaii, and it no longer fits me anymore, and it just flew off. That's the only thing that sucks. I bought so many things that I can't wear now. Besides that, it is so important to build a healthier relationship with your phone. And even when it comes to speaking to people, even with like my mom, I'm just like, please don't ask me for anything right before I go to bed. Don't ask me for anything. Otherwise, my mind's gonna be racing the moment I hit bed. I need to be able to calm my mind and my nervous system so I can fall asleep like this. And another issue with cortisol levels is relationships. Learning who adds to your peace and who takes away from your peace, and what you need to do to give yourself the environment to nurture and foster your highest self. Do what you need to do. Cut those people off, or keep an arm's length at the very least to become who you're meant to be. Also, another thing that really helped me lose weight with intuitive eating is intermittent fasting. Stop eating at 7 p.m. and then I don't eat till about 11 a.m. If you just eat right before you go to bed, your body is going to be digesting food while you're asleep. Body's not going to get the full rest that it needs to function the next day. That's why a lot of people, when they eat right before they sleep and they get 8 hours of sleep, and they're like, I slept 8 hours but I don't feel well rested. That's because your body was digesting food while you were supposed to sleep. Don't do that. Be kind to your body and give yourself that 2 to 3 hours that it needs to digest food. Then I don't eat till about 11 a.m. just because I like to let my body detoxify by drinking water, taking my vitamins, and letting all of that kick in before I eat. That's just what has worked for me in conjunction with my intuitive eating to lose weight rapidly and just understand my body a bit better. And once again, I'm still constantly learning about my body. I keep learning new things as I sit and listen to my body and what it needs. When it comes to listening to your body, it also boils down to being spiritually connected to yourself and to the divinity of your feminine, resting with yourself, calming your thoughts, being present, and just leaning towards what your body needs. Right now, my body's leaning towards needing some water, and I should go do that. Because who am I to preach this if I don't listen to what I'm preaching? This is gonna be a long video. I already knew this was gonna be a long video. I feel the female collective is slowly awakening to the fact of learning how to listen to your body again, saying yes and no, and setting boundaries with ourselves to truly understand our true authentic self. I feel like I have been reverse aging because this is what I look like when I was 17, and this is what I look like when I was 22, and this is what I look like now. And I feel like I reversed aged by learning my body and treasuring it and constantly allowing myself to learn, because our body changes every 10 years molecularly. As our body changes, things change. What worked before might not work later, and it's all a journey. But as long as we're listening to our body day by day, we should be okay. It's a beautiful journey, and I'm excited for you to take it and for you to share it with me as well. I really hope this video helped, and I will see you next time.